Hey everyone, Patrick here. It's Monday. It's been an interesting weekend. Kind of out of nowhere, Sunday afternoon, President Biden announced via social media, which, by the way, for an 81-year-old guy to announce on social media that he's stepping away. He won't seek a second term as president. And then a few minutes later, endorsing Vice President Harris. It really started this couple hours free for all, not knowing for sure who the Democratic nominee was going to be, if Kamala Harris was going to be able to secure the party establishment and base. You had a couple of hangers on who didn't initially come out and endorse her right away, including Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who's a billionaire and could literally drop enough money on day one to mount a campaign against her. But really, the vice president did an incredible job of circling the wagons and making herself look like the inevitable Democratic candidate, and that's surely what she is at this point. Even on Monday morning, Pritzker came out for Harris, so it's almost certainly going to be her at this point, unless something terrible comes out or something terrible happens to her, which completely reshapes this race. Joe Biden was in a position where he could not win anymore. It was essentially a guarantee, right? That there was no path to victory for him. If you looked at the polling, if you listened to the focus groups, they thought he was too old a year ago at this time. After the terrible debate performance and the miserable job of his campaign of trying to make him look like he was still sentient, essentially, that he just was never going to get his campaign on the right track to get it turned around and fixed. So he saw the writing on the wall. Thankfully, some of the people closest to him, and I think we need to be clear that Nancy Pelosi probably had a huge role in this because they are incredibly close. She's the grand poobah of the Democratic Party and has been for a long time. She probably engineered a big part of this. So Biden's gone. It's going to be Harris. What does that mean? Well, it surely means that she's starting out trailing. So when you see polls come out in the next few days, don't be surprised if you continue to see Trump leading, especially in these swing states, the Michigans, the Wisconsins, the Pennsylvanias, the Arizonas, etc. Trump is probably still leading today. The difference is that Harris has the ability to reshape the narrative of this race. Trump was able to make this race about, is Joe Biden weekend at Bernie's, right? Harris is going to completely change the narrative because she gets herself into these weird word salads a lot, which will turn people off and make them roll their eyes at her more than Democrats will probably be comfortable with. But essentially, they want to make this a prosecution of crimes by Donald Trump and abortion. And there's likely no better figure in the Democratic Party to do that right now than Kamala Harris. Policy wise, she's not nearly as moderate as Joe Biden, but she's not nearly as progressive as a Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren type. So maybe she has some appeal to moderates, maybe less than Biden, but certainly it's now a competition of Democratic ideals against Republican personality instead of Republican personality versus Democrat blank, because we don't really know what Joe Biden was at that point. Is Harris going to win? It's hard to say. It's hard to say yes or no at this point. Like I said, she's not winning today, but she has the ability to win. She has the path to win. She's going to have some of Biden's money to win. She can prosecute that case, but she has to give those moderate, independent, you know, Trump Biden voters or Clinton Trump voters the a reason to vote for her. I think Democrats so far have done a pretty terrible job of appealing to that 50-year-old carpenter in Wisconsin or 48-year-old school secretary in Pittsburgh. And they've got to find a way to reach the people that are in play. And the hope would be that Harris will run a better campaign this time around than she did in the primary in 2020, which was an unmitigated train wreck. So she certainly has a lot of work to do, but there's certainly a lot more upward mobility for Harris than there was for Joe Biden at this point. Who's she going to pick for VP? No idea. The best case scenario, the smartest scenario is Josh Shapiro, the first term governor of Pennsylvania. Very moderate, very likable guy. I, as someone who swings on the conservative side, like Shapiro a lot. I like Whitmer a lot. Maybe she goes Southern with an Andy Beshear or Roy Cooper, or goes to a really progressive side, with a guy like J.B. Pritzker from Illinois. So there are a lot of options for her, and you're going to see a lot of these faces showing up on MSNBC in the next couple of weeks as they try and make themselves look like the best option for the VP. But certainly, it's a brand new way. It's a brand new race. It's a brand new world. It's a brand new ball game we're playing, and we'll see it play out between now and the convention, and certainly November 5th.